Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we're talking about voting. There's some pretty important midterm elections coming up on November 8th, and much like the last election, we are again seeing a slew of polished, overproduced, pro-liberal political ads, which are encouraging people to get out and vote, sure, and at face value that seems like a noble cause, but we all know these celebrities only want you to vote if you're voting for their side, the Democrats, the liberal side, which is full of left-wing progressive wackos who want to steal from and ruin our country. No thank you. Regardless, these communists are back at it again this year, and before we get to their new political ad, I want to first quickly flash back to 2016 because this whole situation is eerily familiar, and that's because a number of the same actors in today's video also made a similar propaganda ad before, during the 2016 election, and I guess they didn't learn from their loss back then either because they certainly didn't change their strategy or tactics. I don't know why Hollywood elites think they can preach politics from their ivory towers in Los Angeles, but alas, here we are again, and it seems these spots include a number of Marvel Cinematic Universe actors, ones I would usually love and commend, but once they start talking politics, I want to cringe and condemn them. Let me show you what I'm talking about. First, let's take a look at a video simply called Important from the Save the Day Vote channel. It's from September 2016, right before the US presidential election. Check this out.
On Tuesday, November 8th, this country will make one of the most important
decisions in its history. You have a chance.
You have an obligation
to be a part of that decision.
You might think it's not important. You might think you're not important.
No, here's what I think is not important, Mark. The political opinions of a bunch of overpaid celebrities, who are likely being paid to shill this liberal garbage as well. And the format of this crap really gets annoying too. They have each person say a word or two, each part of one big sentence, and then they chop it all together in editing. Comes out pretty smooth and clean, sure, but it also seems annoying and pretentious to me. And it's no wonder these losers lost that election too. While Hillary and her liberal troops tried pushing this haughty-taughty celebrity preaching shit, the conservatives like me and many others, we just spoke plainly and openly, without the fancy bells and whistles Hollywood has, sure, but our message and movement was still much stronger, so we didn't need all this fanfare. I could just sit here and monologue with a still image for 1 or 2 minutes, and drop way more truth and knowledge on Americans than just 30 seconds of this bullshit left-wing propaganda crap.
But that's not true.
And the only way we can prove that to you is by having lots of famous people.
Lots of famous people.
Lots and lots of famous people.
just a shit ton of famous people.
Repeating how important.
Important.
How important it is.
The repetition really gets to me too. It's like they're trying to brainwash us, right? It's some sort of hypnotizing propaganda tactic for sure. Goddamn communists. The people may change, but the tactics stay the same. Let's go ahead and skip to the turning point of this ad though. It starts off nice and neutral and seemingly harmless, but then it quickly goes anti-Trump. Take a look.
But you only get this many famous people together if the issue's
one that truly matters to all of us.
A disease or
ecological crisis or
a racist, abusive coward who could permanently damage the fabric of our society.
Whoa there, Mr. War Machine. Pump the brakes. Trump has never said or done anything racist or abusive. And as for him permanently damaging the fabric of society, well, damn, that line didn't age too well, did it? 2 years later and this country is doing better than ever. We're adding hundreds of thousands of jobs each month. And unemployment is the lowest it's been since 1969. 69. Also, Trump's approval rating is sitting at a high and pretty 50%. Quite impressive. So it looks like these left-wing Hollywood actors really screwed the pooch on this one, which is why I'm kind of surprised they're trying to do the same thing again now at the midterm elections. And we'll get to that video real soon too, but first I want to show you guys one more thing. I made a parody of this first important video from the Save the Day Vote campaign channel, and I wasn't nearly as popular back then in 2016, so a lot of you probably missed this parody video, and I think it's still pretty funny and is a perfect satire of what this first video tried to do. Check this out. Today, the country will make one of its most important decisions in its history, and now we will emotionally and intellectually shame you into voting. Voting is not for nerds anymore, guys. Come on. It's totally cool and matters. It's totally cool. It's cool. It's totally cool. It's cool and it matters. And the only way we can prove that to you, is by having one famous person and other people who might be famous, but you can't really remember the names. You know, it's like that guy from Seinfeld, repeating how super serious, how serial. Guys, I'm super serial. This is important. Get out and vote today. Vote today. But more important than voting, more important than voting, voting. But more important than voting is voting for our candidate. Our candidate. You have to vote for our guy or you're a racist. A racist. Are you a racist? Not bad, right? And I think you get the point. What we're seeing here is lots of celebrities finishing each other's sentences in front of a white background with soft piano music playing underneath it to boot. I'll put a link to my full parody video below if you guys want to look back and check out the whole thing. But for now, without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the new political ad, spearheaded by a number of left-wing liberal actors, mostly from Marvel movies, and many of which were in the previous video. This time, the video is from the March for Our Lives channel, and it's called My First Time. Check this out.
My first time,
I was nervous.
My first time
was in the back of a firehouse.
Mine was in a church.
It was amazing.
My first time, everybody clapped afterwards.
Ah, well, it looks like in addition to the usual suspects from Hollywood, this year the liberal shill machine decided to trot out this high school dropout turned activist, David Hogg. What a joke. If there's anyone we should listen to less than celebrities, it's 16-year-olds with an axe to grind. Regardless though, looks like we got about the same formula as last time for this video. Celebrities in front of a white background with light music playing underneath. A few things have changed, but the angle and message still are the same. And despite their thesis being vote Democrat once again, this preachy out-of-control political ad is really making people want to do the opposite. It's no wonder this video is getting downvoted to hell too. It's insulting. It's patronizing and demeaning towards real average Americans. And quite frankly, it's adorable how celebrities never seem to learn that we don't care about their political advice. Or any advice. Don't they remember the Save the Day thing? I just went over it again and yeah, that didn't turn out too great for the leftists, did it? When will they learn to just do their jobs, get paid, and shut up about it? And these celebrities are extremely well paid too. They're all in the top 1%, yet that's never enough for them. It's never enough, so getting millions of dollars doesn't satisfy the Hollywood liberals. They also want your votes and control of the government too, without a good plan or a decent platform either. What a goddamn joke.
I mean, I didn't know how to do it.
where to put it, you know, where to slide it in.
There were so many options.
Like,
You never know what it's gonna be like when you do it.
So finally, I just went and I just did it.
I can't help but think this joke is getting a little too dirty and sexy for Hollywood right now. They're basically pretending this My First Time is about sex, but really, it's going to end up being about voting. That's the punchline, and that's fine. It's kind of funny at face value too, but when you think about all the sex abuse and assaults coming out of Hollywood lately, it kind of seems inappropriate for them to be joking about this here, especially related to voting, and especially in a wannabe political ad telling people to vote Democrat. Really? Now? You want to make a sex joke now, after Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and Bill Cosby, who just went to jail, by the way? Not to mention, these are the same people who are ferociously attacking Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh for some similar sexual themes. He supposedly drank too much and had too much sex and made lewd comments in his goddamn high school yearbook. And what about all that Stormy Daniels stuff? Attacking Trump for having sex with a hot porn star? That's bad, but joking about sex and trying to influence young kids to vote Democrat is A-okay with Hollywood. Right, well, that doesn't sound too fair to me.
My first time with a woman was 2016. It felt good, but it ended badly.
What a smug, out-of-touch jackass. It ended badly because you didn't get your way with the election, you say? How exactly have the last 2 years been bad for you, Chris Evans? You've played Captain America in 3 different Marvel movies since 2016, making multiple millions on each one. This guy is set for life and has a bright future in acting and directing, but somehow, he's not happy. And I hate to break it to you, Chris, but if you're not happy now, you never will be. I'm sorry the last 2 years have been bad according to you, but the rest of the country is doing great, and we appreciate what we got too. We're glad things are doing better. And this is why people think Hollywood is so out of touch too, by the way. They pretend things are going badly when Democrats lose, even though things actually get better for the average American. And on top of that, these leftists always double down, never learning from their mistakes. If they had learned, they wouldn't be doing the same bullshit that helped them lose in 2016 with this video.
We have the numbers, we have the power, we can do this.
Come do it with us, November 6th.
Our generation is the largest group of voters in the country.
let's rise up, register, and let our voices be heard.
As long as those voices support Democrats, right? Or bashing Trump is okay too, but you definitely can't support conservatives or Trump, not according to these Hollywood elites. In fact, Chris Evans from this video, he even proved this point when he went after Kanye West recently on Twitter. Captain America called Kanye ill-informed and uneducated because he had this pro-Trump, anti-liberal rant on SNL last week. So make no mistake, these losers in this video are not here to promote a general sense of voting is good, and so is getting political. On the contrary, they are here to promote the Democratic Democratic Party, and voting for them is the only choice that's acceptable. Otherwise, they will call you uneducated, crazy, or even racist or a sexual assaulter or rapist. Whatever it takes to discredit conservatives and our supporters publicly. It's shameful, disgraceful, and quite frankly, it's un-American and needs to stop.
You can't vote if you don't fill out the forms and register.
Go to marchforourlives.com to register.
It takes like 2 minutes.
I was so excited afterwards that I elected all over the place.
Again, while I appreciate the attempt at humor here, it's certainly better than the lifeless, over-serious, important video, but I also still feel this sexual suggestion here is a little inappropriate, especially coming from Hollywood. And also, this is going by their own standards too. And that's why everyone thinks liberals are hypocrites, because they are. They're out-of-touch, elitist assholes who think they're better than everyone. And that's why Hillary Clinton was so unlikable, and it's a big reason why she lost the election. Hillary is a rich, privileged, snooty hypocrite, just like all these Hollywood liberals who supported her and continue to shill for Democrats. And on the flip side, being the opposite of this is why Trump and conservatives keep winning. We're real, grounded, down-to-earth people who can see through the bullshit and really recognize what's going on in America. And that's why so many of us voted for Trump in 2016, because we saw there were problems in our country that needed fixing. High taxes, lack security, and record unemployment, to name a few. And instead of ignoring the problems and pretending everything was great under Democrats like how Hillary did, Trump addressed the problems and offered solutions, which he has since implemented, and now our country is much better off for it. And that's why more people are still going to continue voting conservative this November, because now they see Democrats, like the shills in today's video, they're pretending things are bad in our country when they're really not. So instead of voting for change by voting Democrat, I think Americans will vote for continued success and prosperity by sticking with and voting conservative. But that's just my guess and my hope, really. We still have to wait and see how things will turn out after the midterms. And rather than get all preachy at the end of my video here, like how these Hollywood leftists were, I'm just going to simply end with this. Get out and vote for whichever side you think is best for America. Listen to both sides and decide for yourselves. And don't be fooled by overproduced, polished, leftist garbage like the video we saw today. You gotta learn to see through all the bells and whistles in order to hear what's really going on. What do you guys think? Was this March for Our Lives video just as bad as the important Save the Day video? Will Hollywood liberals ever learn to shut their mouths? Because nobody cares what they think. And which side do you think will prevail in the upcoming midterm elections? Comment your thoughts on everything below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time.